This is my review of the Engwe EP2 Pro. I bought this bike with my own money, so my review is completely neutral and not sponsored in any way at all. Before I get started, the first thing to note is this Engwe EP2 Pro is a second-hand version. It had done around 2,100 miles before I bought it. Obviously I bought the bike second-hand and it seems in good condition. The motor's still working, the controller's still doing fine, the LCD's still working, it still performs like it used to, it seems. So, let's have a look at the bits. The bike has front and rear mudguards and they're both made of steel as far as I know. The wheels are 20 by 4 inch Chaoyang fat tyres. The suspension, obviously on the EP2 Pro you just get front suspension. It's nice, smooth, and it's quite comfortable ride to be fair. You do have this blue switch here that you can lock your suspension with, but I really don't know why you'd want to do that. The brakes are 160mm mechanical brakes. The handlebars, they measure at 22 inches wide. Yeah, they're pretty narrow, but that's good for getting past people. The ride position's comfortable. I personally think they're sturdy enough. The gears are 7-speed Shimano gears. They seem to be used on quite a lot of bikes. Nice, common, reliable gear set. The LCD, basically it's a YL80C display unit. Yeah, it's bright enough, it's visible, tells you everything you need. Yeah, good, cheap, cheerful little screen. The battery, it's a 13 amp hour lithium 48 volt battery. This battery on the Engwe Engine X, which I bought new, does around 30 miles to a charge. I have tested this one and it's done 20 miles to the charge, so it's obviously lost power over time. Now I can't testify how it's been used or how it's been charged or anything like that, but obviously it has lost power over time. Your lights, you have a front and rear light. The rear light is also a brake light. They're wired into the bike, so while you've got power in your bike you've got lights. I much prefer these than just adding separate lights and then having to replace batteries and messing up like that. It's just far easier. They're bright enough, you can see the dark, so yeah, quite like the lights. The rear rack, it looks solid enough. There's no writing on it to say what limit it can hold or anything like that, so yeah, it's a rear rack. The seat is nicely padded, really comfortable to be fair. This handle, it's not really a handle. I'd say my hands are pretty average. I struggle to get my hand in there and carry it comfortably. It digs into your hand quite a bit when you're carrying it. The pedals, I don't like them. There's not enough surface area, and when it rains they do get slippery. Obviously they are folding, which helps with storage, but yeah, I'd replace the pedals if I was you. This little stand thing, I don't like it, I don't get it. Obviously it's for when you fold your bike in half and you can rest it on that, but the truth is it actually gets in the way. Like, I have to carry my bike down the stairs every time, and when I try and push it down the stairs it catches on the top stair every single time. I'd rather having a folding option like your normal bike stand that you can just put away when you're not using it, or like fold it out when you need it. So yeah, this is a folding e-bike. I'm not really sure the use of it being folding, to be honest. It's quite a heavy bike, so it's not really practical for folding. Like, it's alright to stick in your car and stuff and like short-term folding, but like it's not something you'd use or want to use quite a bit. As an actual bike, it's pretty useless to be fair. Like, it's just not fun to pedal. It's a heavy bike and you wouldn't use it without the electric assist. However, it's an e-bike, and while the motor's doing all the work, it's a fun thing to go on. It handles pavement, grass, dirt paths pretty well to be fair. I wouldn't suggest sand. Sand's fine when it's on like the path in front of you and you're going in a straight line and stuff, but actually on the beach, turning is not good on it. It just gets stuck in the sand and it's not fun. The build quality, it's not perfect. The welds are pretty crude. There's clear bits where it's just not level, they've just stuck it on and welded it, especially the handle. But it seems solid. The pedal assist is kind of weird. Takes a little bit to get used to it. Basically you pedal and then a couple of seconds later it kicks in. Sometimes it can be crude and just like ignores you for a while and you're pedaling like you're gonna actually do anything. But when it kicks in it's kind of like right up there. When you get it, it's pretty much fully assembled. I can't speak for the EP2 Pro because I didn't buy this new. But on the Engwe Engine X, I basically had like a few minor bits to put on, like the handlebar stem, the front wheel, the front mud guard, and the pedals really. I think that was it. So it's pretty much fully built, and like you don't need to be a competent bike builder to put it together or anything. It's just basic putting stuff on. So when you buy this, it comes delivered as a road legal e-bike. It's 250 watts and it's limited to 15.5 miles an hour. It's very easy to de-restrict the bike, literally a 2-second job. There will be a tutorial on de-restricting your bike and turning your throttle on YouTube soon. Now if you choose to de-restrict your bike, it's only for off-road use. If you're pulled over on the roads and your bike can do more than 15.5 miles an hour, or your throttle's active, your bike can be seized, you can get points on your licence. So it's up to you whether you want to do that. I'm not recommending it. It's your bike though. De-restricted, you'll do about 25 miles an hour. My Engine X will do 27, but that's a brand new motor. This bike's done 2100 miles, so it's not really lost a lot of power. 25 is still pretty good to be fair. Since I've owned the Engwe, I've joined groups on Facebook and stuff, and there's a lot of negative comments like, oh, it's a Chinese bike and it's not reliable and it'll break and all this sort of stuff. People usually who sell that sort of stuff don't have a recommendation for what you should buy instead of an Engwe. When they do recommend stuff, it's like twice the price, or it's got a motor on it that's not legal. So they're not really viable options. The EP2 Pro is usually about 950 quid. Assuming there's no sales or anything, that's usually Engwe's standard price. So there's not really many options around that price, and it's, for me, it's good value for money. And the mechanical brakes, now personally I think they're more than adequate to stop your bike pretty easily. I mean, from 15 mile an hour you're looking at about 3-4 metres, which I think is pretty decent. On the Engine X I've upgraded mine to 203mm discs, and it's probably 2 and a bit metres to stop, but it's a vicious stop, so I think the brakes are probably right for the bike. These fat tyres, personally I chose a fat tyre bike because I don't really like riding on the road. However, on the fat tyre bikes I actually really like it because I feel sturdy, I feel safe on the road. Hills. Around here it's pretty flat to be fair. There are a couple of hills that they're not really fun to ride up on a normal bike, but this gets up on no problem. In fact, it's actually more fun going up the hill because your pedal assist is always working, so it's just basically going up the hill by itself really. So yeah, in general I think it's quite a good bike. I would recommend it. If you do buy one though, I suggest buying some wing mirrors of some sort, because if you're going on the road it's much safer to have mirrors. I would replace the pedals, I really don't like them. Other than that, I think you're good to go. So yeah, if you buy one, enjoy it. So, thank you for watching. Any questions, leave them in the comments and I'll get back to you. And if you like what you've seen, like, follow and share please, and subscribe if you want to. See you next time.